Welcome to another video, and today I'm gonna give you some Valorant tips and tricks that I actually shouldn't be telling you. Even though these tips can help you win a lot of games, they are a bit unethical. So the enemies, but also your teammates might not like you by the end of the game, but hey, in the end the win is a win, right? Quick disclaimer, after you hear these tips, forget that I ever told them to you. So let's talk about the first tip. Did you know that when you press on the scoreboard, you can see the ping of your teammates and the enemies at the right? And sometimes when you just hopped into a game, you don't see any ping at the specific player. When this happens, this means that this player is AFK. Like in this game, the enemy jet didn't have any ping, so we knew that she was AFK.
The enemy jet is not connected.
When this happens, you can do two things. One, you can play a bit more aggressive and try to kill the enemy before she reconnects. Or two, and this one is even more nasty, try to kill all the enemies, and this should be easy because it's a 4 versus 5, and then don't kill the last enemy that's AFK. Why, you may ask? Well, if you don't kill the last enemy immediately, this player will have more time to reconnect. And when this player reconnects, the enemy team has no chance to do a remake anymore. And as we all know, nobody likes remakes because you don't lose or win RR, so this is a cheesy way to get a 5 versus 4 in the first round and get 1-0 ahead early on. This was also exactly what we did in this round. I know it's a bit unethical, but
Nice, maybe
Don't kill
T-spawn.
Jet. Don't kill Jet, don't kill Jet.
Okay.
She will maybe reconnect.
why?
She will reconnect maybe.
I know, this was not my proudest moment, but you know, sometimes you just gotta do these things to win the games. But if you are wondering, in the end Jet didn't come back and we still had a remake. But you get the point, it's an easy 1-0, so maybe use it in the next game. The second tip is about the second round of the game. We've sadly all got those games where you lose the first round and in the second round you don't really have money while the enemies have specters. When this happens, of course, you can increase your chance of winning the round by doing some crazy strategies like shorty in a corner or 5-man push, but still your chances of winning are very slim. So the second unethical tip is don't try hard too much in the second round if you lose the first round. Of course, don't get me wrong, you are still trying to win the round, but I see so many people try-harding so hard, in the end lose the second round and then the morale sinks to the bottom. Well, if you start the second round with the idea that you're gonna lose it, it hurts less when you lose it. So just chill out, my friends, relax, you don't have to win every round. The next tip is about the enemies. Sometimes you see the enemies typing in alt chat that they are quite angry. You see them typing in full capitals or say things like why you push. When this happens, there's nothing wrong with disrespecting them a little bit. Mr. Lowlander, stop it, you're not gonna give a tip like that. Unsportsman behavior is bad, it's against the Valorant rules. I know, easy, don't rage back on the enemies, that's not what I'm saying. But there are other ways to disrespect the enemies. For example, when you kill them, just like crouch on their body.
Nice! Okay, nice. So good.
Or when you kill the last guy and you have to defuse the spike, don't defuse the spike immediately, but spam it. And what you also can do is type back to the enemies, but don't rage on them, but give them like a tip. You could say something like, next time wait a little longer with lurking and then you could have killed me. Giving a tip like that has good intentions, but the enemy could get really triggered by it. Of course they don't gonna listen to your tip. I know, my friends, it's very mean, but if you tilt the enemy just a little bit more, there's a chance that they will perform less. Nobody plays good when they are tilted. Next one, do you also sometimes play a game and notice that your teammates are getting a bit tilted? They might start saying some passive-aggressive things to you or your teammates and start asking you some very dumb questions. When this happens, you can do a few things. First of all, and I think the best thing you could do is keep open-minded, maybe joke a bit about the things that they are saying, but always let your teammates get the feeling that they are in the right. I know it's hard sometimes when a teammate is commenting on your aim and you have to stay friendly and say, you're right, my aim was a bit bad over there. So if you can't stay friendly, what's really understandable, here's the unethical approach. You just gotta pretend you don't have a microphone and don't talk back to them. Or even consider muting them and completely ignore them. Sometimes this is the best thing you could do so you could stay in the zone. Don't let the enemies get into your head, my friends. Next tip. This one is about the operator. You know that feeling when you win a round, you kill an enemy with an operator and a teammate is asking if you could save that operator. When this happens and you're a normal guy, of course, save that operator, drop it to your teammate and let him get a lot of kills with that gun. But my friends, you probably guess where this is going. Sometimes having an operator in the game is not the best option. When you're playing on the attacker side on Fracture, for example, and your teammate Brimstone is asking for an operator, then it might be questionable if it's the right play to pick up that gun for your teammate. Especially in the lower elos, playing with operator on the attacker side is usually very hard to do. And often it's better to just play with the Vandal and go for the entry frags. Plus, if you pick up that operator and your teammate dies with the operator, then the enemy got it good again. And playing against an AWP on Fracture is not very fun. They might use ratty tricks like this one. Oh! So my friends, when your teammate is asking you to pick up that operator, maybe pretend that you don't know where that operator is. Or pretend that you are AFK and after that say sorry to your teammate. Something that you should not be doing is saying a direct no. You don't want to get beef with your teammate, so just say sorry. I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one who did this in the past. Now let's talk about agent select. Some players out there are only good with one specific agent. If you're a Yoru main, it's completely understandable that you're not very good with Brimstone. Because of course you never play Brimstone. So the next unethical tip is that there's nothing really wrong with insta-locking if you're planning to play that agent anyway. Oof, I'm gonna get a lot of hate about this. But honestly, if you're a one-trick pony and you suddenly have to play another agent, you're gonna perform way worse. I mean, you can already notice it when a new agent gets released. For example, Gecko. When he just got released and you had a Gecko in your team on your enemies, there was a high chance that he or she didn't perform very well. I'm also talking about my own experience because my first Gecko game went very bad. Thanks for the carry, team. So if you're a one-trick pony, just make yourself comfortable and go for the insta-lock. Or even a better advice, try to learn a few more agents, but you know, some people just hate playing smokes, I get it. Next one, this is about... Don't bait me, Jet! Yes, you heard it right, baiting. Over the past few years, baiting has gotten a bit of a bad name. There are two versions of baiting. One is bad, one is good. The first one that's bad is using your teammate as bait, and when your teammate dies, don't peek yourself, you just hide in the corner. Don't do that, that's bad and your teammates will definitely not like you. Although, it can work sometimes. Take this clip for example. Jet and Sky were hiding in a corner and Jet told Sky to go away. Because the enemy saw Sky running away, they didn't expect another enemy to stand in the corner. That's how Jet got the ace.
Bro, go away, Sky! Mid. Yikes. 3. 1 enemy remaining. On the mid.
I mean, if it works, it works. A nicer way to bait your teammates is when you see them overextending, follow them closely but don't really peek. And when the enemy sees your teammate, that's the moment when you peek and kill the enemy. You're also using your teammate as bait over here, but there's a higher chance that your teammate will survive and you get the kill. I know, right? Baiting is a nasty trick, but I got a lot of kills with it. Now let's talk a bit more about the strategies of your team players. Sometimes you're playing with the teammate who is calling all the strats. It's always nice to have a teammate like that, but it can happen that the strategies are not working. Maybe you really have the playstyle of lurking and he always says, I'll push A or I'll push B. When this is the case, you have to remember that you don't always have to listen to the strategies of your teammates. If you got a feeling that something else is better, just go for it, but let your teammate know. When he says, I'll push B, you just say, okay, I'll go B, I go lurk and make some sneaky kills. It might work out, it might not work out, but sometimes you gotta trust in your own instincts. You got to your rank for a reason, right? So you know how to play this game. Ignoring your teammates is sometimes the right thing to do. Next tip, this is a short one, but try to have fun with your teammates. When you see them locking in 4 duelists and they joke around that you also should play duelist, just go for it. In the end, the game is about fun, right? So why not? Don't try to be that guy that's always stubborn and hates on everything your teammates are doing if they are not focusing. In the end, of course, go for the win, but try to have fun while doing it. So when you're very far ahead and your teammate asks to knife the last guy, go for the knife. Here's more. I bet a lot of people hate on this next tip, but sometimes the best thing you could do is just go AFK and leave the game. What? When? Mr. Lowlander, what are you talking about? Well, hear me out. In the end, Valorant is just a game. Every Valorant player, even you, have a life outside of Valorant. And believe me, that life is more important than ranking up. So next time your mother is calling you for the 7th time to eat, your best friend really needs you because of a breakup, or your little brother is asking you if you could play outside with him, just go for it. There's more out there than Valorant. You could always grind tomorrow. This is the end of the video. Please subscribe if you liked it. Thank you for watching and I see you guys in the next one. Peace.